This video will be a very interesting video because in this week we have many interesting movies to talk about, like Venom The Last Dance, the whole Alien franchise movies including the Alien Romulus that came recently, and also we'll talk about many interesting movie updates, and by the end I will suggest you some pretty good songs. Hey everyone, welcome back to Fitwatcher, and if you are new to the channel then I am NK, and without any more wasting of your time, let's go. So let's first talk about the most latest movie came this week, Venom 3 or Venom The Last Dance. Was this movie even any good? And the simple answer from me would be a big fat no. And even though I was not super hopeful about the Venom movie considering Sony movies past records, Madam Rip, but I was still a little excited because of Venom and Tom Hardy. And it was, how do I put? It was disappointing, man. And I will give you a list of reasons why this movie disappointed me so much so that I straight away can't recommend this to anyone. So number one, the movie begins with the character of Null sitting in his throne imprisoned by some spell, and he introduces himself like, "I am Null, destroyer of the worlds." And I was like, okay. And even if you don't know who Null is, he's a very powerful and like god level cosmic entity who has been existing even before the creation of the universe according to Marvel Comics. And he was ruling everything with his darkness until the celestial gods came and challenged him to back away. So Null was so powerful that he even severed the head of a celestial at one blow, and that celestial head we also saw in the Guardians of the Galaxy movies in the MCU, where now it is Guardians' headquarters. And coming back to Null, he has also created the symbiotes, and Venom is one of the symbiotes he has created. And all of the symbiotes he has created is connected with a hive mind or telepathic mind to their creator Null. He can hear him, read their minds, and also control them from anywhere. And he has created also another very powerful weapon himself called the All-Black Necrosword, which can kill anything, even all the powerful gods. The appearance of this sword we saw in the MCU also, and you let me know which movie we saw that. And now that I told you the origin of the all-powerful Null, you might be thinking if this character is appearing in the live-action movie, then he must be damn scary and powerful, right? Wrong. The whole movie has failed to establish the stake of his terror until the very end. So if you have no idea about the plot, let me explain to you in a basic words. So there's the character of Null imprisoned in the darkness of the universe after all the symbiotes has captured him and imprisoned him. And since in the second part of the Venom movie, Eddie Brock died and Venom revived him to life again. By doing so, they have generated a key that can now unlock the prison of Null. So Null sent an army of his dark racers to capture Venom and Eddie in the Earth. But the catch here is that the key only emerges when Venom is in his full form, like this. So that's the basic plot of the whole movie in few sentences, and everything happens in between the movie is pretty pointless and unnecessary. So it's a thumb rule of filmmaking is to show rather than tell the audience, like I'm doing right now. If I don't show you any B-roll of the movie clip or any pictures, then I'm talking like camera to like this, then it would be pretty boring, right? So the main problem of this movie, I think, is that the movie tries to tell the audience about the terror of Null, that he's looking for the key to unlock his prison, and when he's free, he's gonna destroy all the living planets, including Earth, and nobody is powerful enough to even keep standing in front of him. And all these are just told to the audience in form of dialogues. And we never get to see anything like why he is so powerful and what he can do. Like in the MCU, when Thanos first appeared full-fledged in the Avengers Infinity War, in the very few first seconds, we felt the horror of his character when he snapped Loki's neck in just a few seconds of the movie. And in this movie, they could have shown Null doing something like killing the celestial god or anything like which would have made a scary impression of him. And the makers did not do anything. That was a very sad part of the movie. Next, since the movie has nothing going on in the plot until the end, they put some side characters which feels utterly unnecessary, and I feel they put them just for the sake of filling the void in the plot. So for example, the family shown in the movie, they just exist, and at the climax, they get in the Area 51 compound so that the Null army can try to harm them, and Venom or Eddie gets to save them for emotional purposes. I don't know, maybe. And this whole thing looks stupid and makes no sense. And the conversation between the family and Eddie's character just before the interval block will bore you to death, because it makes the pacing of the movie so slow and very boring. So yeah, that's what I felt. Okay, I thought maybe the movie is bad, but the mid and post-credit scenes will at least have something that will connect Venom to the greater MCU. And boy, I was wrong. Both the post-credit scenes were wasted, and in one we have Null's face, just his face, and in the other we see the Mexican guy from the bar walking into some place with the hint of a piece of venom left out in the form of a cockroach. Yeah, you heard it right, a cockroach. Since Venom can now take any form of creatures for some reason. And I have so many things from the movie that makes no sense. Like, why the government army was trying to shoot those creatures when they already know they can't do any harm to them by bullet? How come Eddie survived a huge blast in the end without scratch, without venom in him? How will Venom now come to the Earth since his plan failed terribly? And why the makers tried to make everyone symbiotes in the end? Whose idea was to put the cringy dance with Venom and Mrs. Chan in the movie? And why the cinematography and the graphics look this bad compared to even the first Venom movie? And I should stop at this point. So yeah, bottom line is here, the whole opportunity is wasted. They could have really made the movie a whole lot better by putting some serious tone in the movie and actually kill Eddie or Venom with a more emotional plot. So the emotion did not work for me even with the song Memories by Maroon 5 in the end. That looked very awkward rather than feeling emotional. And I was Tony did not make this film at all. So it gets a fat rating in my Fitwatcher. Also last week I watched 2 movies in the theater on the same day, and both of the movies made me damn satisfied that I was coming out of the theater thinking, wow, what did I just watch? And trust me, both of these movies are that good. And the movies were Jigra and the WIWIW. One is a Bollywood movie where the relationship between a brother and a sister is shown. Satya, the sister, loves her brother Ankur so much so that she can, do anything for him, good or bad. And when her brother gets stuck in another country for a crime he did not commit in a high security jail, his sister burns the whole world to save her brother from that hell. And for the Wild Robot, it's an animated movie where a robot crashes in the forest and slowly he learns the language of the wild and becomes a wild robot. It's a pretty emotional, and at the same time it's a very, very well executed movie which will surely make you cry in the end. And both the movies gets fit rating in my Fitometer, and I made dedicated videos for those 2 movies. And also along with Wild Robot, I have suggested 3 more movies like this, so check it out after this video. Now let's talk about cinema. Like, this is cinema. I mean to say The Penguin, and wow, what an episode. And I'm talking about both the episode 4 and episode 5 of the series, and I think this feels way better compared to other web series nowadays. And in the episode 4, we see the history of the character of Sophia Falcon and how she has become what she is now. She was a pretty normal daughter of Gotham City's Don, Carmine Falcon, and she was sent to the Arkham Asylum, living in the Gotham City, even after she was innocent, and there she was tortured both mentally and physically for a decade. And when she came out of the asylum, she has become someone different, and now she is taking revenge on the high-profile criminal family of her. And the notable thing here is that the performance of the actress, Christine Milioti, and she looks like a proper cold-blooded killer, and she did outshine the main character of the show, Penguin, for a moment. But then the episode 5 again shows the aura of Colin Farrell's character, the Penguin, how he's building his empire from the ground because of his cunningness. And both the actors, Christine Milioti and Colin Farrell, are stealing limelight from all the current web series running nowadays. And I think this is also because of the brilliant writing of the writers of the show, and they deserve praise and appreciation for this no bullshit, no agenda, and purely story-driven show writing. Okay, before moving on, if you are watching the video until this point, I thank you, and I request you to subscribe to Fitwatcher and also like this video, because why not, right? And now let's talk about Alien Romulus. And in fact, I watch all of the Alien movies that have ever been made, and I will tell you which Alien movies you need to watch before watching the Alien Romulus, which came just recently to the OTT, so that it will clear all your confusions about the Alien movies. So for the Alien movies, there are total 7 movies. Alien came in 1979, Aliens in 1986, Alien 3 1992, Alien Resurrection 1997, Prometheus 2012, Alien Covenant 2017, and Alien Romulus that came recently a month ago in 2024. So if you want to watch the original Alien movies, you need to watch in this order. First, Aliens, Alien 3 and Alien Resurrection. If you want to know what happened before Alien, the first movie, and from where those alien creatures came, then you need to watch Prometheus and then Alien Covenant. And if you want to watch something new and good quality, then watch the Alien Romulus directly, considering the fact that you will know the story before Alien Romulus in this video. So keep watching while I try to explain all the Alien movies plots and timeline in a few minutes. And before explaining the timeline, you should know the basic things about the alien creatures of this movie. The creatures born in the form of a facehugger inside an egg laid by the alien queen. When the facehugger finds a host, in this case the human crew of those ships, they attach themselves to their face and impregnates the host with an embryo, which then grows up to become a creature inside the human host, and it comes out while busting the chest of the human. This is called chestbuster state, and once they get out of the human host, they grows very rapidly in the matter of a few hours and becomes a full-grown alien, which is also called xenomorph. So they are the perfect organism which can adapt to any tough environment without dying. That's why they are very tough to kill. And now let's talk about the timeline of the movies, and also I will summarize the movies in a few sentences. So first, the Prometheus movie. In a way, it's a prequel to the whole Alien franchise, and it is set place in 2094. It starts with a space crew in hibernation wakes up by an alien robot, David. Their spaceship is a scientific exploration vessel, Prometheus, and Dr. Shaw and her husband, along with all the crew, goes to an alien planet to find out who made the humans. And they find out the beings that makes humans are called engineers, and then David creates a conspiracy to kill every human on the ship, and at last only Dr. Shaw is able to survive and escape with half-dead synthetic robot of David by engineers on another spaceship. The corporation that funded the $1 million expedition is called Weyland Industry, and the founder of the corporation, Mr. Weyland, dies in the hands of an engineer in the end of the movie. This movie looks gorgeous with both the breathtaking visuals and sound score, and also of course the VFX. Second, the Alien Covenant. Timeline 2104, ship Covenant and crew, Daniel and the other space crew with them, goes to a planet WIWIW 6 with 2,000 colonies to rehabilitate human population, since the Earth is not now suitable for human to live. Another deviated synthetic robot wakes them up, and they get a distress signal on the way to WIWIW 6. They goes there, lands on the planet, and one of the crew gets contact with a facehugger, and it then becomes a xenomorph, and they also meets the previous David in that planet, and it reveals out that the previous David killed Dr. Shaw for alien experiments, and also he wants to kill these people too. He also killed the planet with all the engineer people in it, and David too, from the Covenant movie, kills David 1 in the end, and only Tennessee and Daniel of the whole crew could make it out alive. And when they put into the cryogenic pod, it reveals out that the robot is David 1, the evil robot, and not the good robot. Number 3, the original Alien movie. Alien 1 came in 1979, and it takes place in the year 2122. Spaceship commercial towing vehicle Nostromo with Captain Dallas, and they get a distress signal while returning to the Earth, and when they arrive on that planet, a facehugger gets them, and then an alien forms out of the crew members, and only Ripley of the whole alien crew could make it out alive after killing the alien. The synthetic robot between the crew revealed to be Ash, the science officer, but in this part it is kept as a surprise in the beginning, unlike the other Alien movies. And it is also revealed that the evil intention of the Weyland-Yutani Corporation, their intention was to extract the alien race so that they can make the perfect organism which will be able to survive on any planet, and they use the crews like disposable things to get what they want. Number 4, Alien Romulus, timeline 2142, 20 years after the events of Alien. And in this part of the Alien movie, we get to know the ground reality of Weyland-Yutani Corporation for the first time. And the corporation treating people like slaves to work in the mine, and people are dying because of many diseases and also mine accidents. A group of teenagers, including a synthetic robot, steals a spaceship and they goes to an abandoned space center of Weyland Industry to steal some cryogenic pods to travel to another habitable planet. And when they get to the Space Research Center, that brought the same alien trapped in space with the wreckage of the Nostromo ship of the 1971 Alien movie. And they tries to experiment on the alien pressure that they collected from the ship wreckage. And also it is shown that it was always Weyland's motive to make the perfect organism to survive anywhere. It is the xenomorph and human combination. And yes, at last we see the exact abomination and the result of it. And the fun fact here is that the character exists in real life. I mean, not the xenomorph, but the actor who played the monster. He's a real person. And also it mentions the fact that Mr. Weyland died searching for the cure of old age that occurred in the first Prometheus movie. And at last, only the girl, Rain, and the android, Andy, could survive the whole situation. And if I have to talk about some good technical aspects of this part, the cinematography and the lighting is top-notch, and also the background music is best among all the Alien movies except Alien 1, of course. And the graphics and the VFX and everything looks awesome, like a modern day movie, yet it takes place after the events of Alien 1, 1979. And number 5, Aliens or Alien 2 came in 1986 and also directed by James Cameron. In the plot, again Ripley goes to the planet after being rescued by another crew, and then the same thing happens like the Alien 1. Just in this time, the Queen Xenomorph rebels in the end, and it ends with Ripley killing the Xeno Queen in a pretty non-sci-fi way when she flushes it to the space. But I felt even though it is directed by James Cameron, somehow the graphics and visuals looks more dated than the 1979 Alien 1. Number 6, Alien 3, timeline set just after the events of the Alien 2, when Ripley and the kid manages to cryosleep, but a facehugger impregnates the queen inside Ripley, and she ends up in another planet which works as a prison for the Weyland, and the alien born again in the planet. And in the end, Ripley kills the alien and also sacrifices herself because she did not want to see the Queen Xenomorph born out of her. 7, the last one, Alien Resurrection, timeline 2381, 202 years after the Alien 3, so it takes a big leap in the time. And after Ripley sacrifices herself in the last part, she is brought back to life again when the US military makes a clone from her DNA taken before she is gone. And in this time, Weyland is gone. US military runs their own operation in a space center where they are trying to make more xenomorphs to experiment. Ripley's clone Ripley 8 and the crew of this movie destroys the whole spaceship that could have otherwise gone to Earth and created havoc there. And in the end, they succeed, and the spaceship destroyed, leaving only Ripley 8 and some of the crew alive in the end. And that's the whole story of the Alien franchise. And yes, the Alien vs Predator movies are not canon to the story. They were just a comic book adaptation of the Alien vs Predators. Yep, there's Alien comic books too. The more you know, the better, right? So if you ask me, I would say all these movies are definitely worth watching if you are truly a sci-fi movie fan. And I have watched all the movies in bits and pieces when I was a child. So I thought let's watch them serially, and I must say it was so worth it. And all of these movies get fit on my Fitometer, especially the Alien Romulus. So do give it a chance. Another movie I got to watch this week is Brothers. It's a comedy movie featuring Josh Brolin, Peter Dinklage, Brendan Fraser, and Marisa Tomei. It's a pretty good movie which does not take much of your time. The plot is simple, like there's two twin brothers, Jade and Mo. They are petty criminals from their childhood, even their whole family is criminal. And when they grew up, one of them get caught by police, and then he plans to get out of the jail to make one last robbery. Good points about the movie: the acting and the comedy is pretty good. There's good chemistry between the brothers, and also Brandon Fraser is hilarious in the movie. And the most hilarious part was that monkey scene. You'll get it once you watch the movie. So it's a pretty good time pass kind of movie. I keep this movie a regular in my rating. Another movie I watched in this week was Me Before You. It's kind of a romantic drama movie, and in this we have in lead roles Emilia Clarke and Sam Claflin. So Sam's character gets paralyzed due to an incident, and Clarke gets appointed as a caretaker by Sam's family. They both start to get attracted towards each other, and let me tell you what I liked and what not from the movie. What I liked is awesome background music and the beautiful scenery of the UK where the movie has been shot. And I didn't like all of the things in the movie, especially the relationship of Clarke with her boyfriend when she is basically cheats on him for the other guy. But let's not go there with the moral compass road. But other than that, the movie is pretty emotional, and it also tells us to move on with our life, whatever tragedy has happened in our life. And the beach scene in the ending reminded me of my time in Goa on the New Year's Eve on the beach, and yeah, that was the best time of my life. So yeah, this movie gets a regular. Now let's move on to some spicy updates came this week. First update came from the upcoming Superman Legacy movie of James Gunn's DC Universe, where we see Superman and Krypto the space dog sitting in another planet or maybe rock body, witnessing the view of Earth from the space. There's some controversies going on with the Krypto dog's breed, since in the comics we mostly get to see our Labrador as a Krypto the space dog. Only time will tell how this movie goes. I'm excited for this one. And next we have behind the scenes photos and videos from the upcoming Spider-Man Noir movie in development by the Prime Studios. It's gonna be a spin-off kind of show where we will see another variant of Spider-Man, but this version, Spider-Man Noir, focuses more on the detective and the street level fights. And it's been played by Nicolas Cage, who also gave voice to the character in the Spider-Verse movies. Next up for the trailers, first we have the Electric State, where we have many known actors like Chris Pratt, Millie Bobby Brown, Ki Hui Kwan, Woody Harrelson, Anthony Mackie, Giancarlo Esposito, etc. And also it's been directed by the Russo brothers, and the plot looks kind of simple. There's that maybe an apocalyptic world where robots and humans coexist now, and someone tries to harm the harmony, and Millie Bobby's character will try to find her missing brother, as it seems from the trailer. We don't know much, but since it has all the famous actors and the Russo brothers in it, so it looks promising. It will be released in March next year on Netflix. Next interesting trailer, Wolfman. As the name suggests, it will explore the lore of werewolf, and it looks like a good blend of horror and suspense from the trailer. And I like the fact that the makers are not trying to show too much of the things in the trailer itself, unlike many studios like Sony, who shows the entire movie in the trailer itself. And also it's being directed by director Like VENOM. I am not sure how his name pronounced, but again, who has directed some pretty awesome movies in the past, especially The Invisible Man and Upgrade. Both are awesome movies. And next, another interesting one, Love Hearts. And wow, we have a lot of trailers in this just 2 weeks, man. So for this one, we have the lead Ki Hui Kwan, and he is ex-assassin of some kind, and he's hiding from his past working as a realtor, but soon his past haunts him. And since Ki Hui Kwan has been a stuntman for a long time, as many of you may know, doing this action role really suits him, even though he is not that big of a guy. And next, Carry On, in which we have an airport security officer getting blackmailed by someone to let some dangerous baggages pass through the airport security. Seems interesting, and it will be released next month. Next, we have Strangers Chapter 2, which is a sequel to the 2008 movie The Strangers, and the other 2 parts of the movie series, which were pretty creepy horror movies, I must say. And this part looks good, and let's see how it goes. Okay, now let me suggest you some good songs. For this, I will suggest first Out of Control album by Darshan Rawal, and this guy has a pretty sweet voice, and I love his songs basically. So if you want to listen some pretty good Indian indie pop songs, give it a go. And next, Ranjan by Sachet Parampara, another good song. from some movie maybe. And next, Forever Young by David Guetta, Yumi by Notre Dame, and Deeper by Alok. And these are some pretty sick EDM tracks I listened to this week. And now this is your job to comment down below which movies and songs you enjoyed this week. And thank you all for tuning in until the very end of today's episode. If you want to watch some other interesting stuff like this, you may try the other videos I made that should be pop up anywhere here. And so yeah, until next time, stay fit and keep watching Fitwatcher. This is NK signing off. Bye bye.